Biggie's pre-review brought to you by The Real Study, Sunday nights, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Welcome to Biggie's pre-review. The pre-review is where I tell you about upcoming films coming to movie theaters and beyond. This is for the week March 13th through 19th. The first film on my list is Leave. Leave is a horror thriller where a young woman tries to find her origins after having been abandoned as an infant at a cemetery wrapped in a cloth with satanic symbols. But as she gets closer to the answers, a malevolent spirit is telling her to leave. This movie looks great. I'm always down for a good horror film. Let's go. The movie Leave has a limited release in movie theaters starting March 17th. Next up is the comedy Pinball, The Man Who Saved the Game. An unsettled writer with a fantastic mustache, Roger Sharp, finds solace and confidence in the one thing he's mastered, pinball. He soon learns that the game is illegal in 1970s New York City when a police raid destroys the only machines he can find. Learning what it means to take a chance, Roger embarks on a crusade to save the game he loves the most. Now, this movie is based on true events, and I'm really looking forward to this. The movie Pinball, The Man Who Saved the Game, has a limited release in theaters starting March 17th. Next up is Moving On. In this comedy, two old friends reconnect at a funeral and decide to get revenge on the widower who messed with them decades before. Now, this movie stars Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda, and they always have such great on-screen chemistry. There's no doubt this movie's going to be hilarious. The comedy Moving On has a limited release in movie theaters starting March 17th. Next up, Boston Strangler. In this historical crime drama, a reporter, Loretta Laughlin, becomes the first person to connect a series of murders and break the story of the Boston Strangler. She and Gene Cole challenged the sexism of the early 60s to report on the city's most notorious serial killer. Now, this movie stars Keira Knightley, Carrie Coon, Alessandro Nivola, and Chris Cooper. This movie looks like it's going to be a really great drama, a really intense subject, so I'm always down for Keira Knightley. This movie looks stupendous. The historical crime drama, Boston Strangler, premieres on Hulu, March 17th. Next up is some horror with The Ghost Within. A young woman revisits her family home, desperate to discover her sister Evie's murderer 20 years before. After a series of terrifying encounters with Evie's ghosts at 9:09 p.m., Margot knows she must fight to learn the truth once and for all. This movie looks great. Special effects look top-notch. I can't wait to see it.
The Ghost Within
has a limited release in movie theaters starting March 17th. Now it's time for some animation with The Magician's Elephant. The orphan boy Peter sets out to find his missing sister. He asks a fortune teller if she's still alive. She advises him to find a magician with an elephant. Peter must then complete 3 difficult tasks. Now, this movie looks great. I'm always down for some animation. This movie looks like it's going to be a fun adventure. The movie The Magician's Elephant premieres on Netflix on March 17th. Now it's time for some dramedy with Wildflower, a coming-of-age film that follows Bea Johnson from birth to graduation as she navigates life with an intellectually disabled parent and an extended family who can't quite agree on the best way to help. This movie stars Kiernan Shipka, Charlie Plummer, Alexandra Daddario, and Gene Smart, amongst others. This movie's got a great cast, a great lineup, the story sounds fantastic, and I can't wait to see this. The comedy drama Wildflower has a limited release in movie theaters starting March 17th. Next up, A Snowy Day in Oakland. In this comedy, a beautiful psychologist from San Francisco decides to end a stalled romance with her high-profile psychiatrist boyfriend and business partner. She moves on with her life by opening her own practice in a vacant office space in the middle of a small commercial block located across the bay in Oakland, turning the predominantly African-American and psychologically ignored neighborhood on its emotional ear. This movie stars Kimberly Elise, Nicole Ari Parker, Dion Cole, who's one of my favorites, and Michael Jai White. This movie looks like a great treat. To be honest, I love seeing Dion Cole in things ever since Blackish. The comedy, A Snowy Day in Oakland, has a limited release in theaters starting March 17th. Alright, now it's time for some psychological drama with Inside. A high-end art thief becomes trapped inside a luxury high-tech penthouse in New York's Times Square after his heist doesn't go as planned. Locked inside with nothing but priceless works of art, he must use all his cunning and invention to survive. This movie stars Willem Dafoe. I love Willem Dafoe. I will watch anything and everything he's ever in. This movie looks and sounds fantastic, and there's a lot of buzz going on about it. The psychological drama Inside premieres in movie theaters starting March 17th. And last but not least, now it's time for some superhero stuff with Shazam, the Fury of the Gods. When a vengeful trio of ancient gods arrive on Earth in search of the magic stolen from them long ago, Shazam and his allies get thrust into a battle for their superpowers, their lives, and the fate of the world. This movie stars Zachary Levi, Asher Angel, Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Djimon Hounsou, just to name a few. Now, this movie looks like it's going to be an excellent follow-up to the original Shazam, and Zachary Levi just looks so friggin' great in that outfit. Shazam, The Fury of the Gods, premieres in movie theaters starting March 17th. Well, that looks like it's all for the pre-review this week, and I hope to see you out there.